Savannah, Georgia. It's unlike any city you'll ever set foot in, and its inhabitants are the farthest thing from normal.
Someday I will shoot a man. God knows I've already tried. Just ask my former sweetheart, Shelby Gray. All I wanted to do was give him something to remember me by. Didn't have to kill him, of course. I just wanted to shoot him in the toe. But the dead coward wouldn't hold still, so I blew a hole in the air conditioner.
You couldn't?
I missed.
How fortunate. From voodoo witch doctors.
Alright, now here's a list of things you need to do to curse that district attorney guy. And you have to do this during dead time. You know how that works, right? Dead time lasts for 1 hour. 1/2 hour before midnight and 1/2 hour after midnight. 1/2 hour before midnight is for doing good. 1/2 hour after is for doing evil.
She's not completely sane up there, is she? No, she's not. But she's certainly interesting.
To master poisoners to murderers. I was around in Savannah for one of the greatest incidents to ever grace the city. The murder of Danny Hansford. He was a 21-year-old kid living with the fabulously wealthy bachelor, Jim Williams. Williams was gracious and very cultured, whereas Danny was as far from that as you could get. I met both of them one evening shortly after I came to the town and was given a tour of Mercer House by Jim himself. We were chatting in one of the sitting rooms in the house when Danny stormed in.
Dang it. Bonnie stood me up again. She's running around all the Southside bars.
Now, Danny, get a hold of yourself and tell me what the problem is.
Maybe I was a few minutes late. I got thrown off of my timing. Her friend told me that she left because I was just a few minutes off.
Now, Danny, don't go driving your car. You'll get arrested for sure. You've already got charges on you from the last time.
I don't care about Bonnie or the police.
Interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you this breaking news about the Danny Hansford murder trial. Jim Williams has released a statement on his version of what happened the night that Danny Hansford was murdered.
Well, I was going to be going on a trip to Europe, and recently my health hasn't been doing too well. Hypoglycemia, the doctors say. I passed out a time or two already, and I didn't want to pass out en route without somebody there for me for 2 reasons. Health-wise and money-wise. Anyway, I asked Danny to go because I thought I could control him. Then around mid-April, Danny told me he was planning on bringing some pot with him. So immediately told him that he couldn't go, which prompted him to explode in anger.
Nothing could go right for me, can it? All that crap you took away from me, and my trip to Europe?
Andrew.
No! Who are you calling?
I had to think real quick. I said, I'm calling Joe Goodman to tell him the European trip is off. We both talked to Joe, and then after I hung up, Danny was sitting across from me.
You know, this silver tankard is about made up its mind to go through that painting over there.
It was an English painting, about 8.5 feet by 10 feet, of the Drake family in the 18th century. Danny had that crazed look on his face. So I stood up and put my finger straight out and I said, Danny Hansford, you're not going to tear up my house anymore.
I may be leaving tomorrow, but you're leaving tonight.
Well, party's going good, eh?
Well, I think they might all believe you killed Danny Hansford.
My dear, it may have been a crime of passion, but I know 3 people who stood up on that grand jury. They've seen the evidence, and I gather it's going to be sticky for Jim. First of all, I'm told the crime laboratory came up with some troubling results. There was no gunpowder residue on Danny Hansford's hands. That means he couldn't have fired a gun at Jim, as Jim claims he did.
Good lord.
The location of the bullet wound doesn't add up either. From the way it looks, he was hit in the chest and in the back, meaning that Jim shot him when he was on the floor.
How dreadful. You mean it wasn't self-defense?
I'm afraid it doesn't look that way.